True value creation begins with the power of words. Modern professionals often repeatedly emphasize the need to become a product owner, follow agile methodologies, or analyze personas. Some even display their undergraduate affiliations such as Yonsei, Korea, or Sogang universities on LinkedIn while listing English terms to showcase their credentials. However, true accomplishments don't emerge from these verbal games. In fact, the world functioned well without the internet, and developers created remarkable products without dedicated planners. This article contrasts modern verbal games with ancient wisdom to explore the essence of true value creation. 1. The illusion of modern verbal games. The hype of technical terms. Terms like product owner, agile, and milestone are seen as authoritative among modern professionals. When explaining their careers, people often flood their conversations with these terms, as if they themselves are proof of competency. Yet, the meaning behind these terms is often unclear. Without understanding the specific roles of a product owner or the superiority of agile over traditional waterfall methodologies, they merely repeat these optimistic terms. This is akin to using the word swordsmanship instead of a real sword to defeat an enemy in ancient warfare. Looking back at the history of the modern technology industry, we can trace these phenomena to their roots. In the late 1990s, during the era of DOS and Windows 98, roles such as planners, designers, and publishers didn't exist. Developers designed and created products independently. The essence of technology was solving clear problems, and the terms used were practical. However, as the industry became more complex, technical jargon transformed into a descriptor for expertise. Today, on LinkedIn, some boast their experience by claiming the product owner, while others emphasize their management approach by labeling themselves agile leaders. They try to define their value through English terms, yet it's unclear whether these terms genuinely create value. This phenomenon is a form of linguistic excess. Words have become more important than things themselves, and language began to replace factual substance. Originally a tool for problem solving, technical jargon has now become a medium for self-expression. This creates a dangerous illusion for modern professionals that people who speak eloquently are valuable. However, true value doesn't depend on the quantity of words but on the substance they convey. 2. Ancient wisdom. The power of words as a path to peaceful victory. Ancient warfare wasn't always about physical combat. In mythology, Deva and Asura fought for dominance in the heavens but ultimately decided the battle through words rather than swords. The criterion for victory was eloquence, reflecting their philosophical differences. Asura king recited poetry promoting violence, while Deva king emphasized the importance of patience and reconciliation. The judges decided that Asura's words, confined to the realm of swords and weapons, fueled conflict, whereas Deva's words led to a peace without weapons. This story contains fundamental insights about the power of words. Asura tried to emphasize superiority by justifying violence through poetry, but this only deepened conflict. Conversely, Deva expressed wisdom by containing anger in his words, which led to a peaceful resolution. Modern professionals can learn an important lesson here. Words are not merely a means of communication but a power that influences relationships and outcomes. True insight transcends the form of speech and focuses on its content and purpose. 3. Contrasting the modern and ancient. The essence of value creation. Modern professionals often try to demonstrate superiority through technical jargon, but the ancient Deva king used words to achieve peace. This contrast reveals the essence of value creation. While technical jargon often emphasizes superficial superiority, Deva's poetry served as a tool for inner insight. This suggests that modern professionals should focus more on the quality of their words rather than the quantity. Ancient wisdom viewed the power of words as a means for peace and harmony, yet modern verbal games often reproduce conflict and confusion. Technological jargon, originally a tool for solving problems, now unavoidably complicates them. This raises a critical question for modern professionals. Do your words truly create value, or are they merely a means of self-expression? 4. Practical insights. Applying the power of words in reality. The example of the ancient Deva king offers real lessons to modern professionals. First, words must be used with clear purpose. Just as Asura's violent rhetoric intensified conflict, purposeless speech in the workplace causes confusion. Conversely, like Deva's emphasis on patience, purpose-driven communication contributes to problem solving. Second, words should be concise. Technical jargon becomes more complex and its meaning more diluted as it becomes elaborate. Deva's poetry was simple yet impactful, while modern technical jargon often obscures its essence with complexity. True insight stems not from complex language but from simple, profound expressions. Third, communication must consider the perspective of the audience. Deva King emphasized the wisdom of containing anger, whereas Asura sought to suppress his opponent. This principle applies in the modern workplace as well. Whether communicating with superiors, collaborating with colleagues, or engaging with clients, strategic communication requires the ability to anticipate emotions and expectations. 5. Implications in the modern context. The excessive use of technical jargon among modern professionals is a form of linguistic overreach. This is not just a sign of ignorance but reveals a lack of awareness of reality. Technical jargon once served as a tool for solving problems, but now it creates complexities. As shown in the conflict between Deva and Asura, allowing words to become an end in themselves is risky. Ancient wisdom teaches that the power of words should be used for peace and unity. This principle remains valid in the modern workplace. True value creation lies not in the number of words but in the practical solutions they convey. Using technical terms isn't inherently bad, their significance lies in how effectively they help solve problems. Modern professionals often invest excessive time memorizing technical terms. However, true expertise lies not in memorizing words but in creating change through meaningful speech. The wisdom of the ancient Deva king reminds us that how we use words determines whether we foster conflict or peace. Modern professionals need insight into the essence of language, not the illusion of technical jargon. Words are not merely a means of communication but a force that shapes reality. True product owners are not those who accumulate words but those who solve problems. Ultimately, true value lies not in the quantity of words but in their real-world impact.